Hey, good morning. Guess it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Wednesday, oil inventories day. Got your coffee? Who's alive? Who's alive? Wednesday, the 10th of March, 2021. Let's make some pips. Let's go. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Never risk money, cannot afford to lose. Guten Morgen. My name is Wayne McDonald. Good to see you. Happy day, happy Wednesday, happy oil inventories day, happy hump day. Hump, there it is. Right, so we're going to do some what? Technical analysis, fundamental analysis? I don't know. You're the boss. Let me know what you want me to cover. Let me know what currency pair. Maybe you want me to cover euro, US dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, Kiwi dollar, Czech kroner, Swedish crown. Anyways, there's crowns, crones, kroners, whatever. We can cover all of those. Japanese yen, USD, Swiss franc, Bitcoin, gold, oil, whatever. XRP, we haven't done that for a while. Is that even still a thing? So let me know. Let me know. You're the boss. So welcome to Forex.Today. The raison d'etre of this organization and this community is to teach you how to trade successfully. That's the bottom line. I don't have any weird indicators. I don't have any weird techniques. There's nothing cool. There's nothing fancy. There's nothing new. If you look at my videos on YouTube from 2005, I'm doing the same thing. Same stuff. Same moving averages, same indicators, same philosophies. So, you know, I hope that speaks volume right in there. And if it doesn't, what it means is I haven't had to change. Okay? I haven't had to change. Either that or I'm just an old, grumpy old man. But I started as a beautiful young stallion. So anyways. So, yeah, ask questions, get involved. You know what? I've been looking at YouTube. YouTube is so fantastic because everything in the world is there, right? Like everything is now on YouTube. And so I was just looking at like different people that are successful in different ways. And, you know, I've been kind of watching a few videos on Jerry Seinfeld, actually. And he said something recently, right? I just watched it a few seconds ago. And he's like, look at me, I'm 65 and I've done it. This is it. This is the pinnacle. Right? I've done everything in comedy. He's been in comedy for 45, 50, 60 years. He's like, I've done everything. And this is it. Like, I can see, and now I can provide advice and all that kind of stuff. But he recently wrote a book, and that's the part kind of that I'm leading up to. Like, he's at the peak of the thing that he did his whole life. But how did he get to the peak? And it was lots of hard work and discipline. In the last few years, one of the things he did is all he does from 7 o'clock in the morning until noon is write. By himself, quietly, sitting in his office, no phone calls, no emails, nobody stops by, generally doesn't do interviews and all that kind of stuff. He just sits and writes. He does the job. And apparently this book he wrote is using the notes that he had from writing from like 30, 40 years ago. He still has his notes. Okay? The other thing is interesting. He meditates every day. And I'm like, well, I meditate every day and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of interesting. That's kind of my connection. But my point is he does the job. How do you go from a funny guy, you get on stage, you make a few people laugh, to being at the peak of the entire industry? hard work and focus and dedication. And you're like, oh, wait, that's what we have to do. We have to do the hard work. We have to make the focus, the sacrifice. We have to make the tough decisions. And you have to sit in your chair and make the trades. And not just for a while get rich and you're like, look at me, I had a funny TV show, now I'm a billionaire, now I can stop. No, why would you stop? You love what you do. And you keep, right? And you keep focusing on the work because you love the work. Not cutting corners, not just riffing, right? Jerry's like, he can't even imagine getting on a stage and just going with it, ad-libbing, doing, what is it called? What can I think of it? Ad-lib? Why would you do that when you could actually write really good material? Why you could just ad-lib as a trader, sit down, fire off a whole bunch of trades. But why don't you just have some good plans? So I like anyways of focusing on these different areas and stuff like that. So anyways, sort of inspiration, or let's say a reaffirmation that the hard work is what we need to focus on, not getting rich quick. Yeah, I want to be a comedian, and then I want to have my own TV show, and then I want to do my HBO special, and then I want to be a billionaire. Just like Jerry Seinfeld. Well, maybe when you're 65. Okay, good. Looks like there's a 30-second lag in YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Why is it so slow? I have it on ultra fast. Anyways, so thank you for being a part of this community. Traders Way is also part of our community. Would you please visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account. It shows that their investment into your education is good, is worthy. You're grateful, you're thankful, and one day, they'll earn your loyalty and respect. So when you're ready to trade real money, you'll consider tradersway.com. The one good way to track it is, hey, we do a live stream on YouTube, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 people open up demo accounts. Try that. Coolio. Oil XAU. I'm blind again. Gee whiz, I'm going to need glasses. A little bit. You going for the Chris Rock? Yeah, hey man, he made it too, right? All right. So where are we in the world? We don't quite have the turn yet. On the dollar, it was very strong since the beginning of March, which was part of our plan. And now we're getting closer to the middle of March. And the plan is by the middle of March, we're hoping to see some dollar weakness again. And certainly by the end of March. So we got 3 weeks to go, and we're just starting to see it turn. Good. Are we there yet? No. Okay. No, we're not quite there yet, but it might just be shaping up. Yen is continuing to be strong, weak, which is a good thing. Euro's down, well, again, because dollar has been up. Kiwi sideways. Aussie kind of sideways to up. All this has been around for a while. So Australia, for example, might benefit from stimulus in China, but their housing market, they're like, it's mixed, but has sort of more tailwind maybe with the China recovery. Kiwi, less exposure to China than Australia, let's say, and is suffering from the same sort of localized macroeconomics of meh. There's still, I think, lockdowns and COVID-related things going on there, and the economy hasn't fully reopened yet, right? So we're still seeing that there. Now, maybe New Zealand will be much more open as far as an active economy by the end of the year. Well, if that be the case, then maybe at some point you'll say you want to invest into that. the opening. I want you to think about that. You're like, well, maybe New Zealand is locked down more relative to other countries, but you believe it will benefit from opening up later in the year, maybe in the fall. So at some point between now and the fall, you'll want to invest. Okay? Or Australia or Canada or Great Britain or something, right? So that is that. That's how I want you to think about things. Switzerland, kind of a mixed bag there. So right now, we know there's a little bit of a commodity play going on, which is part of the reflation trade. Stock markets have been down for a while. Yesterday was a big up day. The secret there was NASDAQ dropped 10% since its high. Boom, you buy it. Why would you buy it? Well, A, we expected the stock market to come down in early March, and B, we expected to buy it back in mid-March, and C, 10% is a nice round number. And my guess is 90% of people that sold it off the top bought it off the bottom. And we call that rotation. It's a weird rotation, but they booked some profit, and now they put the money back to work. Okay? So anyways, how do you want to play this? Where do you want to go? Beast? Kitty cat yen? Okay? So that's the relative strength. This is up, this is down, so you could do pound yen maybe. Oh, you got some techies? Right on. Very cool. It was funny, yesterday, 2 days ago, my wife and I go get our eyes tested and then buy some new glasses from the ophthalmologist, right? And so we go through, we buy our glasses. I got Tom Ford's, very nice. Only takes a month to make them. So obviously they're buying them from China for $5 and selling them to me for $1,400. Anyways, you know what happened after that? We sat with her for a half an hour talking about financial advice and investing. Isn't that great? So she might be buying some Eli Lilly stock. Yeah, for a half an hour we just sat there. We already bought the glasses. Everything was over, and then she's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I'm a currency trader. I buy and sell money." And she's like, "Kind of like a stockbroker?" I'm like, "Yeah." So my wife and I sat there for a half an hour, giving her financial advice, which is really cool. So here we are. We're looking at pound yen, and what? Where are we going? What's up, Keish? Where are we going? What's the plan, Stan? Okay. In this case, when you're OOP, you're supposed to ride the 4-hour 21 to the target. So the theory is we get there, but we got to get through whatever that is. Okay. And that's not even that accurate, so let me adjust this. La 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 la. What do you think? Can you see it? So this is what we call in the swing trading group out of position. And this is exactly what you're supposed to do. Okay. So we know, again, OOP, up, down, down, buy. Up, down, down, buy. Up, down, down. Okay. That's what's in the training course, by the way. Yeah, it's in the training course. That's how you handle that situation. I'm not making it up now. It's what you do. So we don't know if it's actually going to hit target, but that's how you treat it. I'm just going to move on to I'm going to switch this up. Okay. Boo, 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 boo. The monthly opened on the central pivot. I don't have that. I have a different number here. The weekly opened on the central, but right now, okay, we're trying to handle this. This is on a monthly basis. It's kind of the same thing. Okay. On a monthly basis, we're definitely OOP. Okay. And then since then, it's been riding the 4 hour. Okay. Based on that, we're supposed to hit the target early, and then yen gets strong. I don't know if that's true, but that's what that's just the pattern. You guys have bad static? Is that right? Only you make me feel this way. Only you. Is it better? All right. So now you left and it went away. Well, it went away because I unhooked it. I disconnected the microphone. All right, so it is microphone related, huh? Only you. Well, I don't know what to do for in the moment. Okay, so we could look at kitty cat yen 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 yen. Yeah, I guess I need a $2,000 microphone. Well, I can't bear thinking that I'm bearable. I'd like to be more than bearable. Okay. Let's say we look at this. Okay. You can look at this as OOP, right in the 4-hour 21. Okay. We're supposed to hit our target and then come down. We don't know that to be the case, so right now you're still riding this 21. Okay? But there's a reason why I have this area grayed out, right? And that's much more important than the fact that there is one. It's like, why do I have this area grayed out? Because that's where I would expect traders to take profit. So that's much more important than anything. Okay? A lot of people get caught on, oh, well, the indicator. No, what it's telling us, or what we know of this is a place where people will take profit. And so you're looking for evidence of that occurring. And right now we have an up, a down, and so if it did this, you would have to believe it, or you should believe it, or you should do something about it, or you should react or respond or recognize or something. But it shouldn't be magical. Well, Peccary, I had a blue snowball. I gave it to my son so he can stream. Yeah, I'd like something better than that, though. Hey, but Razor is a good brand. Razor's not a bad brand, but maybe I'll get a Rode. Oh, sure. All right. It looks like the one I got. Let's see, $500. Yeah. 400, but then if you want some other things, yeah, all right. Oh, for sure, eh? Well, thank you. All right, so anyways, if we breach this 21 in this situation, it's meaningful. You understand? We say, because of this, a breach of this is meaningful. Because the way we handle this, if there would, right, it's either going to do this or it's not. Now, this open, this hot open, predicts R2, but that's for you to decide. Okay? You can see here that clearly somebody knew to take profit. I want you to think about that. That bearish engulfing candle is not random. Somebody knew about it and did something about it. And what were they thinking? Do you think this price right here mattered? Yes, I think so. And that we knew that price 9 days in advance. And I'm trying to emphasize that other people are doing the same thing. In a way, you could say we knew people would take profit at this price 9 days ago. We knew what they were going to do before they did it. And I want you to trade that way. Maybe the microphone's interfering with something else. Well, I can move this thing. Let's see. Let me unplug my speaker. Only you make me feel this way. Never mad at the fact he's corrupt like a senator. Soul in a rope, but you treat it like soap on a rope, because my beats and my lines are so dope. All right. Okay, so anyways, important, right? So, put it into context even further. So let's say it goes up to R2 and then, okay. This is supposed to be the top of March. That's what that gray zone is, guys. So, as let's say a short-term trader, would this impact you if you only traded the 15-minute and 1-hour charts only? Would it impact you? Actually, it does. Because the behavior of market participants will change as they get nervous. Okay? And what seemed easy here, maybe, will become less easy. Because many of these market participants might be out for the month. Think of that. They bought, and now they're spending their money. What did you do in March? Well, I bought it on the first hour of the first day, and by the 9th day, I took profit. Okay? So I think we are going to have less market participants. Even if it goes up, there'll be less market participants. Okay? And very often we do end up with yen strength because we lose the bulls. You understand that? We may lose the bulls here, which might entice bears to participate. Okay. So we did CAD yen, we did pound yen. Okay. By the way, do you still hear the static now? I can see it's picking up something. Like it never drops to 0. But it might be, I think it might hear the air conditioning above me. Really? Well, I removed my speaker. All right, so now if I'm speaking, my voice is probably way low. I'm sorry I don't have Polish zloty. Easy street. Yeah, but now I'm low. I know that. Yeah. So now maybe if I'm closer to the mic, that'll help. Yeah. Clear but low. How low can you go? Chicka, chicka, chicka. All right. So anyways, what do you think of my oh my WTI? My oh my WTI. Well, it came down, roll reversal, 50% sweet spot, on its way up to 71. I'll say, yeah, let's dumb it down and say 70. Easy street. We bump it down easy street. Okay. So what do you think? Is that going to continue? Is that the trade? Remember, we're only looking at it from a bullish point of view. Okay. The high for March for WTI, 71. Which you knew 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago.
Your
The CPI data,
0.4,
energy up 3.9%, gasoline up 6.4%.
Year over year, 1.7, 1.3 on the core. Feels good on the core, doesn't it? Yep, 1.3 on the core. Okay, fine, good, great, great. Let's go great. I guess we can go do this and drop it into like a 5-minute chart. Will it update? There we go. Easy street. Yeah, cool. Great. Stuart, it would be significant because of the historic data I showed you guys last week and our return to production, and we'll learn about the rig count. So I think even rig count will be important. Uche says dollars falling
Taiwan,
like a stone.
China military aircraft
We
once
already
again
knew
entering
that.
Taiwan's ADIZ.
Okay.
That latest incident
None
occurred
of this should be
today.
that special. Remember, the next big thing is March 17th, but even that shouldn't be too much special. Okay. So all of this is what we've been doing. I mean, how many weeks have I told you this was going to happen? La la la. Easy street. So yeah, so dollar down. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Right? That's what it's supposed to be doing, right? Okay. What trades did you guys take? Easy Street. It's on Easy Street. Let's take a look. We can zip around the world. Been around the world and I can't find my baby. Hey, what do you think of this one? Who the hell sold this? Yep. Cool. Right on, you guys are on it. Very nice. So we got a new lower low off of a new lower high. Very nice. I forgot about the exotics. Yeah. I was trying to catch this peso yesterday or the day before. I can't even remember. What day is it today? Wednesday. I guess I missed it Monday, but I was doing other things. And then I was trying to catch a bigger pullback, but it didn't do it. So unfortunate for that one. But this is much like we were talking about on the other pair, whatever it was, pound yen maybe. Okay? Out of position, resets off the 4-hour 21 into the target, double top, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay? And that's pretty typical for this type of pattern. Oh, Guy knows the Sesame Street one. And Guy, you probably know the same Sesame Street that I do, you know, where it was French and English, and then you move to America and it's Spanish and English, and you're like, wait, that's different from the Sesame. There's no like moi, toi, moi, toi. You're like, what? It's different. Oh, the moon is blue, it's a big balloon. It makes you shroom, it makes you croon. It's heaven being on la lune. And I loved it because he'd say, what rhymes with moon? Someone says, Saskatoon. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Saskatoon. For a 4-year-old, it's a big deal. Then you're like, wait, Sesame Street's in New York? Really? Where's New York? So euros are, yeah, missed the peso, but we'll catch it. But this limit's been there for a while. You saw it yesterday, too. And I think you can see what I'm doing. So anyways, that's interesting. What's the spread on the pair? Oh, let's go back to that. That's a great question. Okay, on this one, when I took it, it was less than 4 pips. Now, I don't know the actual, because the spread, I mean, here's the thing. You look at it and you're like, oh my God, the spread is 250 pips or something. You're like, oh, that's impossible. Look, when I pulled the trigger on a mini lot, I was down 4 pips. $4. Sorry. Okay? I traded a mini lot, and the spread was $4, which is the same as 4 pips on the euro dollar. So that's how I look at it. What are the actual number of pips? The number of pips are irrelevant. It's the exchange rate we care about. So when I pulled the trigger on that, in my book, the spread was 4 pips. And of course, that's nothing for an exotic. All right. But good question. Good. Because I took note of it. I'm like, oh, wow, people would probably be impressed by that. So there you go. Easy Street. Let's go here. About this one right here. So what I'm hoping for now is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. That's what I'm. That's what I hope for. Yep. So I can adjust my stop again. I don't know where it is now, but I'll adjust it. And hopefully this carries. I don't know if it's going to carry or not. I mean, we could fart around here for a long time. Okay? But you know what? I'll buy this too. I don't care. Is it bad that you only trade pound yen? Yeah, it is, Richard. Makes no sense. There's no reason behind that. Now you're lucky that it's working out well because you got a good pound yen. But pound yen giveth, and pound yen will taketh away. And you'll be shocked at how fast you give back. Right? It just depends if you pay with pips, tears, or blood. So anyways, I think you can see what I'm doing here. I'll remind you, I told you 6 months ago that I would be doing this. This time of March. Okay? I told you 6 months ago, okay, that in the middle of March, I will start selling US dollar. Can anybody confirm that? Can anyone confirm that? At least 6 months ago, that you knew by the middle of March that I'd start selling US dollar. So guess what? I am. Whale oil B, MR fish. All right? C, D, B, D, I's. M, R fish. Okay? Cool. So I don't know if I'm right, of course, right? Meta, I don't know if I'm right. I know I'm early. But I don't know if I'm right. Oh, no. Edward, by April. I mean, I will be doing that in April, but by April, meaning near April, beginning in the period to April, but definitely in April, I will already be short. Okay? So it's this period where I think I'm early, Edward, but in a week from now, I probably won't think that early, and 2 weeks from now, I'd be game on. So it's the first shots, right? But to follow up, Edward, more selling in April, more selling in May, and some selling in early June. Okay? But selling. When I say, so if you go back to the notes, March, I expect dollar strength, but by April, I will be selling dollar. Okay? By April. Not wait until April. Okay? So, anyways. So, it's... Okay? But it's not like, oh, now you've missed it. Like, whoa, dude. Right? So, like, this would not shock me at all. Okay? And I have to start all over again. I'm okay with that. Oh, this has nothing to do with euro. Oh, I don't give a crap about euro. Yeah. Does pound look good too? Well, let's take a look. Do I have pound here? Yeah, right here. Okay. Well, let's see. I set it up for you yesterday and the day before. So, pound 2, well, you bought it, right, in Asia? This is what I did for you guys yesterday. Created the roll reversal, created price support, pointed out the daily buy zone. So you took it, right? This is where we're going next, right? Are you on that? Is that weekly? Wait, is that weekly, daily? No, it's daily. Yeah, so you're on it, right? I mean, this is what we did yesterday. Planned it out. So what you should be doing now is setting up tomorrow. No, there wasn't a macro course. I told you I was going to do it. The deck is done. And I was going through it, and it's so detailed that I really wanted some of the slides to have keys, because, you know, it can get complicated, and I was worried as the one delivering that I could have a brain fart and say, wait, this line and that line is what? And then I didn't want to stumble and get all farty. So I want to go through and add some keys and stuff in there. I'm trying to think, like, way down here at 40. Yeah, like, this is a great example. I'm like, wait.
Russia's central bank saying uncertainty over demand and prices likely to gradually lower
right?
oil
Like,
prices towards
I'm
$50
just
a barrel
like,
in
I'm that
2021.
way, like, as a
And that
student,
pro-inflationary
too.
impact
I'm
of
very
demand
slow,
could delay the return to 4%
and I really
inflation
have to
target
stop
until
and think. But the cool thing
2022.
is then I understand.
Right now, they're
right?
saying they see an annual inflation
So
slowing down in the month of April.
What I need to do
Comes from Russia's
is add
central
the key
bank.
to remind myself what the gray is and what the green is, because very often when you're teaching, and I'm doing sort of my planned tangents of giving real world experience, life experience, and all this kind of stuff, throwing that down, you can easily throw yourself off. And then I didn't want to get it wrong and then have to go back. So, I like to have these reminders, right? So I need to put that there. Oh, my squawk is on. See, I disconnected my speaker. Sorry. I disconnected my speaker. So now I don't have a speaker. Didn't hear it. Sorry. So anyways, I didn't want to trip up and stuff like that. So I thought I'd defer, go back, add some stuff. But remember, I'm going to do a summer school for everyone that's missing. I'm going to do everything over again. Most likely, I'm going to do macroeconomics and monetary policy and redo the whole thing, which might be like 30 hours of lecture. I'm going to redo them over the summer, and that's something that people can pay money for and attend. And I'm telling you, I'm happy. So I hired a PhD student, and so when I throw things down, he gets what I'm saying. So and I like the work that he's doing for me. So I can just see that he and I could sit down and really do some really good stuff. And like this PowerPoint presentation, in my opinion, it's impressive. There might be a million too many clicks. There's so many clicks, it's unbelievable. But the quality is amazing. So anyway, I think I'm going to go back and redo the whole thing. I even thought about getting a studio, maybe, so I can stand and talk and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? Okay. Well, Trade the News should be gone now. Yes. It'll be summer school. So imagine now, like, you literally, for 6 or maybe 8 weeks, you'll attend live school with me. I might even go so far as to give you homework and all that kind of stuff, and required reading and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? We'll see how much time I have. Hey, Grumpy Cat. Hey, where you been, Grumpy Cat? I don't think you've been around for a while, huh? You all right? I love summer school too. So, anyways, there goes your pound dollar. Let's look at USD Kitty Cat and drop into a smaller time frame. So I'm in a mediocre position, but I explained this yesterday that I was in a mediocre position. So I'm sort of in here paying the penalty. You know, I don't like it, but I'll move my stop a little closer. Okay, and hopefully we get some carry through. Honestly, this move that we just got, I think it's pretty short lived. I think what'll happen is I think we will have an ebb and flow until the Fed meeting on the 17th. Okay, so I'm trying to get into positions. This one I thought would have a little more lift off on oil. So remember, we have oil going up. So I'm already buying oil according to this. I believe the US dollar. Okay. Oops. I believe the US dollar is going to get weak. So I'm selling this. Okay. And I believe the Canadian dollar is going to benefit from a rally in oil, which we already outlined. So I'm like, I don't like this at all, but it's a position. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I might bail. But again, on the long run, I believe this is coming down. And you could see, like, I really should be short, 50 pips higher. I should be short up here. But ultimately, based on what we see on our analysis, both technically and fundamentally, wouldn't we think we're going to be down here? Let's say 24 down to 23. So, I'm farting around here at 126.50. So, I should make 300 pips on this. Right? I should make 300 pips on it. So I'm like, all right. Look at this. I'm risking this much. Okay, see over there? But I'm going for this. Okay? See, I'll move it over here. I'm going for that, and I'm risking, it's even less than that. Okay? Look at the difference. I'm risking this, going for that. That's not a bad trade. And you're like, well, why way down there? Okay, well, okay, here, fine. Okay? Would you take that trade? Okay? Yeah, so that's the thing, right? I know it's mediocre. I know my entry is not that great. But if I back out, I don't know. It should be fine. Okay, but the issue is it's a piss poor entry. I expected a little more rally off of oil and a little more dollar weakness, but I understand the dollar weakness might take 2 weeks. So this trade together might take 2 or 3 weeks. Okay? You sell CAD? No, I buy CAD. You sell CAD? No, I buy CAD. I'm buying CAD, dude. I'm selling US dollar. Well, yeah, it's right there. Look at the trade. That's what I'm talking about. I sold this. Look, there's my entry. There's my stop. There's my target. This is the plan I gave you guys 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm trading the plan. I'm just not on a short time frame. It looks pretty mediocre, right? So here's my entry. No, here's my entry here, and you're like, well, that's mediocre. But then when I back out and show you the longer term, it might just be fine. Wayne, why won't it go through the pivot profit zone? Well, it may. It may. That's why I had it in the middle. So when I backed out to the daily here, I had the target in the middle, remember? And then I said, well, Wayne, you might argue that why not M1? All right, conservatively here, aggressively here. Very often I just look at the psych level. So I'm saying the conservative target is right there. Okay, 23.5. So I'll make 300 pips. If I'm lucky, I'll make 450 pips if I'm lucky. Okay. But conservatively, I'm risking 30 going for 300. I should be all right. I don't know. Okay? But if it don't work out, it's worth it, isn't it? Because I believe I'm right. I have fundamental and technical analysis working in my favor. It might take me a couple of weeks, but I got time. Okay? I like this idea, and I mentioned it at the beginning, but I like Jerry Seinfeld's idea of blocking time off. Do you have time set aside, like on your schedule where no one can bother you, where you spend at least 2 hours a week thinking about the long term for Forex? And of course, the answer is you don't. Now, I definitely spend significantly more time than that every week thinking about it, but I don't have it scheduled. And I kind of maybe like that idea, the discipline of it, where you would have to find things to do. Right? So, for example, let's say twice a week you spend an hour. Well, this would be the time where you download central bank reports. There's always central bank reports. And you sit down there with me. For me, it's with a cigar and a cup of coffee and, the birds singing and the sun on my face. And I have multiple color markers. So I have yellow markers. I have orange markers. I have gray markers. I have blue markers. I have pink markers. Okay? Right there at my desk. So obviously I can't make this up. And I sit there. Oops. And I highlight things. And then, because I have a cigar, cigars make me smarter. I sit there and I think. And I go, Om. But it might, it should be a thing that is scheduled. Right? Organizing your day. Troll Master Fictitious Fables of Europa. I don't know why you got blocked, but what a curious name. Yeah, Forex artwork, yeah. Yeah, your name says it all. The Fables of Europa, though, that could be a great band name. Jim says he makes time every week. Yeah. Well, I would say, Jim, it's even more important for, or let's say I'm thinking of, a young gun starting off and they have to do Forex, a career, and kids, right? And it would be even more important for somebody like that, if that's the avatar we're talking about, where you would have to schedule time. So I do things like I get up an hour early, and that's it. I mean, that's not it, but I mean, it's it meaning I simply will do that. So whatever early means, it doesn't matter. I get up an hour earlier than that. So if I go to bed late, I wake up early. If I go to bed early, I wake up early. And very often, I have, like, I know you guys think I fart around or I show up 5 minutes before my webinar. I'm certain you think that. Very often, I'm sitting in my office for hours before the webinar. And the reason I come in 3 minutes late is like, son of a bitch, what time is it? Right? And I've been here for a while, and I get lost, and I'm doing it, I'm thinking, and I'm a thinker. Like, I'm a funny dude that way. I get lost in my thoughts. My wife laughed at me the other day because she says, turn off the bedroom light before you leave. And I'm like, what? Turn off the bedroom light before you leave. I always turn it on. No, you don't. So today, now that you're leaving, turn the light off. And I'm like, okay, sweetheart. And god dang it, an hour later, she sends me a text with a picture. The stupid light's on. And in that moment, like in the 28 seconds, I get lost in a thought, and off I go. And my daughter's like that too. She's a free thinker. My son is mathematically inclined, right? But in me, I just get lost in my thoughts. So I'll look up. I'm like, oh, my webinar! Oh my God, I've been here for 90 minutes, and I'm late. I can't believe it. It's like driving to a meeting 90 minutes early, sitting in the parking lot for 95 minutes, and then, son of a bitch, you're like, my meeting! The whole reason I'm here, right? So you got to run in 5 minutes late, and they're like, oh, stuck in traffic again, right? And no one believes you when you're like, no, actually, I've been sitting in the parking lot for 90 minutes, but despite that, I'm late. Sorry about that. So, yeah, well, that's a big one, right, Dr. H? So there's techniques for that one. There's techniques for that one. But that can happen too. Dr. H, another great one I used to do all the time in meetings, back when I ran big teams. So I used to manage teams of hundreds of people. But anyways, we'd have a big meeting, and there's people around the table and everything. And I'm like, all right, so everybody good? Yep. And we're all on task? Yep. And everyone's standing up, leaving. Okay, wait. Everyone sit down. Sit down. What did I just say? What is the plan? And people are like, I don't know. I don't know what we just agreed to. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Here, stand up on the ledge so I can look you in the eyes. There you go. Yeah, well, Albert Einstein, too, he's interesting because he would walk to work with the slippers on. He'd organize his closet with the same suit. I'm not that way, but I certainly could be. I would like to be. Right? If I was just myself. Now, I'm not myself. I have family and children, and I'm bigger than myself. But if I was just myself, I would probably be crazy. Yeah. I'd probably be a nutcase. I asked my wife the other day, I want long flowing hair, and I want to teach summer school at Harvard, and she's like, you should do it. I'm like, really? But yeah, I'd like to be Einstein because I crave that focus. And so when we as a community talk about having focus and discipline and loving the work, I love it so much that I can get lost in it, and enjoy it. To me, it's similar to a drug. You know, like I'll never forget if the movie Train Spotting with who is it, Ewan McGregor, where he takes a pill, whatever the pill is, whatever the drug is, and he immediately just falls back onto the carpet, but he melts into the carpet, and and he's gone in a fuzzy world of just whatever the drug does, right? I like that with intellectualism. Was it heroin? But it was then it was a needle, not a pill. I remember it being a pill. Didn't he drop the pill into the toilet and he had to find it? Yeah, I imagine heroin would do that, but I don't remember a needle. Maybe you couldn't do needles in movies back then. But anyways, the intellectual side of what we do. Okay, all right. Yeah, so it was okay, and that makes sense. But I remember the feeling. So maybe I wasn't paying attention to the detail, but that feeling is how I feel about the intellectual side of what we do. And that's what I want Forex to be for you. I want you to be addicted, and you're squeezing the rest of the world in to your Forex. You're not squeezing Forex into your world. You're squeezing your world into Forex. And with that kind of dedication, you will find success. I mean, like I said, I'm searching YouTube for different signs of success. And I even see, I saw this 14-year-old kid, maybe he was 15, this kid on YouTube with nunchucks. And holy crap, was he good. He could throw the nunchucks in the air, spin 3 times, catch them without even missing a beat. And I'm thinking, you know what? That kid was... it's either a form of addiction or a form of, ADD, or not, OCD, right? I think probably the most successful people in human history have been flawed people. They're not doing it out of love, maybe. They're doing it because they can't stop. But because they can't stop and they're so driven, they're so focused, they're unbelievably successful. So if you're going to demonstrate nunchucks, and you spend 4,000 hours perfecting all day, every day, dude, you're going to be good. So you might as well obsess about something that's going to pay you a lot of money. Okay? An example I came across was this guy in England. He won an award. I think the Queen, she didn't knight him, but gave him some sort of award because he spent a whole bunch of time cleaning the ditches throughout the UK. He cleaned the ditches. In an interview, he said, well, the truth of it is, I'm obsessed. I cannot not do it. He has to get out of bed. It's not that he's a workaholic. He's obsessive compulsive. So he wakes up, and if he doesn't put on his reflective vest and his combat boots and go out to the dark ditches at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's on the side of the freeway cleaning. If he's not doing that, the world will end, or whatever his thing is. And he's like, so they gave me an award. And he's like, the truth of it is I have to do it. And then he said before this problem, he had a different obsessive compulsive disorder, and it was he collected spiders and had to hand feed them. And I'm like, what? He's like, he had to. And he'd spent years collecting spiders and feeding them by hand. But he said they don't give out awards for this. The queen will not knight you or do whatever. He was obsessed with this. He had to. He was compulsive. He had to feed the spiders. But then one day it just stopped. And then he's like, oh, I have to clean ditches. I have to clean the freeways. The freeways are dirty. I have to do this. Yeah, totally weirdo, right? So what if you could somehow choose to switch from feeding spiders to cleaning ditches, because you know people are going to admire you for cleaning the ditches. They're like, wow, I wouldn't clean the ditches like this guy, but I like the fact he's cleaning the ditches. You're like, what a nice guy. That's a really selfless act. Actually, it's very selfish, not selfish. He has to do it, therefore he's selfish. He's doing it for him, not you, not for the queen, not for society's, the betterment of society, right? So how about this? What if we could try to be obsessed with Forex? And one way to do it is say, well, I am obsessed with discipline. So to create discipline, and this is sort of another angle I'm going, I'm thinking about, future books and stuff like that. Like, how do you become obsessed in a way that you're going to reap some sort of reward or society will gain some benefit? Or both, ideally, right? Your clients are super happy with you and you get paid a lot of money. Therefore, you pay a lot of taxes, you make a lot of donations to charity, everybody's happy. Okay? You're living off the greed and sloth of hedge funds. Great. So, well, what if you start with the discipline part and say, well, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, between 10:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m., you only do central banking reports, and you're obsessed with it. You don't care if it's the Central Bank of Hungary. Give me the report, I'm going to read it. Because they're going to talk about their concerns economically, concerns in Eastern Europe, the influences of Russia on one side and Western Europe on the other, and like what's going on there, and what about global macroeconomics and where they are in global macroeconomics and the variables that are affecting them globally. What is their interest rate like? What is their monetary policy like? What's their central banking like? Is it good? Is it bad? Why is it good? Why is it bad? Like, you're just learning these things. What are their concerns? What are they talking about? And you're like, but I don't even trade the Hungarian franc. I don't even trade the Polish zloty, but if the Polish central bank releases a report, you're going to read it. Why? Because you're mentally deranged. You're the most focused Forex trader on the planet, to the point where people look at you and think, sane or insane? Okay? They're like, wow, I'm just unwilling or incapable of doing the work that Richard Spencer does. I like what I do, but I can't do what Richard Spencer does. Or I could, but I choose not to because I want to do other things. Okay? I hated that movie, so I can't even imagine which guy you're talking about. But I hated that movie. But anyways, so that's like, can we try to get there? Like, what if you had a strategy for that? The reason Jerry Seinfeld might have become so successful is he got lucky. Just another stand-up comedian that got a TV show. But you know how many dozens of stand-up comedians got TV shows that were mediocre at best or got canceled very quickly? Almost every sitcom. And almost every one of them sucked. But for some reason, Jerry Seinfeld gets his, and it goes on to be the most successful sitcom of all time. So is it unbelievably lucky? Well, dude, you don't get lucky 12 years in a row or how many seasons it is, right? So what kind of things made him successful where most end up with nothing? Of course, most stand-up comedians don't even get a show. So how did he get a show, or why did he get a show? And then why did his shows succeed when almost all of them fail? Like, why is he the 1 out of a million? Well, you're trying to be a 1 out of a million. So like, what makes him so special? All of a sudden you're like, he's obsessed with writing and preparation. He's obsessed with meditation. He's an obsessed person. He's delusional and deranged, but it made him successful. So apparently in 1973, he learned about transcendental meditation, went to a class or something, boom. Every single day since 1973, Jerry Seinfeld has meditated. Did that in of itself make him the most successful comedian, right? No. But maybe it led to it. You understand? Like maybe it's a part of it that he's obsessed with writing. He's obsessed with perfection. Not only does he tell funny jokes, and like, I don't know if you like him or not. That's not the point. But he will not just stew over every single word in a bit, but he worries about the cadence of the joke. Okay? So, and 40 years later, he still has his notes. Now, does that sound like someone that's obsessed? 40 years later, he still has his handwritten notes because he had yellow legal pads. So every time he would use a yellow legal pad, okay? And he says only recently he drinks coffee, just since he did the TV show about comedians in cars getting coffee. So now he says his routine is the coffee goes there, the legal pad goes there, the pen goes there, and at the same time, every single day, without fail, he sits down. Totally obsessed. But what if you could take that and say, maybe you're not a nutcase, control freak, right? Like, you can knock him down. But the thing is, he was successful. He is successful. So now you could say, well, maybe I can take from a part of that. Could I be a little more obsessed? I'd like to be more obsessed with other things. There are certain things I don't think I can do, but I will continue to try. I still struggle with empathy. I still struggle with understanding people's emotions. I will continue to try my best. Even if I have to fake empathy, I'll try. But then there are other things like, yeah, I could exercise more. Maybe I should. Maybe I need to exercise at the exact same time, same day, without fail, and just focus on doing it, not anything else. I do it because I do it. I do it because I do it, and I don't know why. I don't need anything else, right? Okay? So it'd be interesting to find more and more people that have been a success. Like I know, for example, athletes. Like I'm older than, right? I'm not a Kobe guy. I'd be more like a Michael Jordan guy, a Wayne Gretzky guy. But they're all probably very similar in the sense that they use visualization as athletes. I know Michael Jordan did for sure. I know Wayne Gretzky did for sure. I would assume Kobe did as well because they're just better than everybody else. So they're not just talented, they're more prepared. They're just a whole level out there. I know Tiger Woods did as well. I know he did things like he would anchor his thoughts on the golf course with blinking because he was trained. Okay? And so, like, how do you use visualization? Another example I give would be the Blue Angels. I know the Blue Angels sit down at a conference table at the airport before every show. They sit around the conference room table. They're all in their chairs, and they close their eyes, and they fly. They literally fly. They all have the invisible stick, right? And all the invisible knobs around them. They're not in a cockpit, but they're visualizing they are. And they go out, and the leader calls it 3, 2, 1, okay. Coming up 10,000 feet, right? Beep, beep, beep. Okay. Into this pattern, right? Flanker left, off they go, right, right. All right, on 3, and 2, and turn, and break, right? And they'll go through the whole show in the conference room, and you could see them. And they're turning and they're leaning left and right because these guys are breaking left and they got to come around. And then in 72 seconds, they will be back here in a new formation, and they actually fly. And in my book, I talked a lot about it, don't I? The visualization. I said the mind doesn't know the difference because your mind, right, your eyeballs are what see. Your eyeballs take in light. But your brain thinks, not your eyeballs. Your eyeballs are just input devices. They're peripheral devices that plug in to the core. And the brain takes in that data and says, oh, light, darkness, near, far, dangerous, safe, good, bad. Run, hide, okay? But your brain is the one doing it. The brain isn't attached outside, the eyes are. So if you close your eyes and you see an image, as far as your brain is concerned, it's the exact same thing. So you can sit in an office, fly an FA-18, and your brain doesn't know because the brain's not outside, the brain is inside. Okay? So, I'd like us to be that obsessed. First of all, I'd like you to work for me. I'd like to give you tons of money, and I'd like you to trade successfully for years and years and years. Cool. Boom. But I want you to be that type of person. I want you to be Michael Jordan that shows up and wins the game every night. I want you to be a franchise player. I want you to be Wayne Gretzky that's, right, that doesn't skate toward the puck. He skates where the puck is going to be. Okay? I want you to be the fighter pilot that is prepared to perfection. Nothing is unexpected. And if something unexpected happens, like you lose 2 engines at the same time, the plane is going to crash away from the crowd, and you're going to land with a parachute on the ground. The plane will be destroyed, you will be safe, and the crowd will be safe. And you took care of it. Because you know what to do when things go wrong. You don't ride the plane into the ground because you're like, well, I'm the best pilot there ever was. Okay? You know when to bail before anybody gets killed. All right? That's the person I want you to be. I want you to be obsessed. When I walk a client into your office and I say, well, this is my Euro USD guy, and this is my USD CAD gal. These are the world's greatest traders. And I'll mean it. And with one look, the client knows it's true. That's you. Okay? Not because you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you. Not because of positive affirmation, because you have obsessed. And you are obsessive. You've done more work than anyone else is capable of doing or willing to do. You are the peak. And that's why people invest with us. You are the peak. You are the best. Okay? And imagine a team like this, it becomes unstoppable because now you have a team that complements. Now the team becomes greater than the sum of its parts. And as a team, we're better than the best because we are the best, but we are better together. Now the rest is easy. Now it's more money, more return, more money, more return. And the funny thing about how the industry works is you'll make more money in the 10th year because of money coming into you. More money will come to you in the 10th year than the first 9 years. And more money will come to you in the 11th year than the first 11 years. Right? Because you'll find all the money goes there. That's why, right? That's why like the top funds have like $100 billion, $50 billion, $28 billion under management. You're like, 28 billion? And you start adding that up, you're like, wait, that means the firm is bringing home how much? What? It's insane. But the thing is, all the money is going to accumulate with the best. Okay? All the money is going to... The best way is to reverse engineer it. Think about being a business. You want to be the third cheapest product in the world. Okay, let's say whatever it is. Coffee mugs. Okay? Let's say somebody makes the coffee mugs for 25 cents a mug. Now, of course, there'll be markup when you sell it to whatever, but the actual cost of making this coffee cup, the cheapest person in the world that can make it for 25 cents. And you're like, I want to get into business making the cup for 28 cents. How much value is it being the third or fourth or fifth cheapest in a business model of race to the bottom? There's no value. If you're going to be a race to the bottom, being second cheapest is almost worthless. Being fourth cheapest is like you're not even going to be in business. You will go out of business. The only one that wins is the absolute cheapest. And if someone comes in and finds a way to do it for 24 cents, then the person making it for, or the business making it for 25 cents just lost 90% of their business, right? So reverse it now. What about value creation? What if you are considered the best? Well, being second best is a far step down for most people, especially when they're trying to make decisions of, hey, we're an endowment, we need to invest $1 billion, we're really worried about who manages this money for us. Well, we have Wayne's team, or we have these other guys. Well, there's a big drop in the other guys. So the other guys can compete. They're like, all right, we're not as good, we're good, but we're not that good, but we're good, and we'll do it for cheaper than them. And they'll attract some people away, and dumb money goes with dumb money. But the smart, big money will go with the best, and we want to be the best. We will be the best. And I want to be able to say, Amanda is insane. Amanda Lang is nuts. And she works for me, and I love her because she's obsessed with doing the job to perfection. And I would be proud for her to manage your money, Mr. and Mrs. New Client. Okay? I know that she'll take care of it. I know that you will be able to sleep at night, I will be able to sleep at night, and she will be compensated well because she's doing a great job for you. And by the way, we're all that way. Okay? So, anyways, you get it? Or you can be like pretty good. You can try to be pretty good if you want, but you'll never work for me because I'm not interested in trying to be pretty good. Cool. So anyways, there we go. So here I'm trying to just let it run, trying to let it do its thing. I'm going to try to, I'll either lose 30 pips or make 300. It's not bad. We'll see. Okay. So we did Rand. Well, this is CAD, right? We did Rand. We have to do Aussie. Do we have Aussie on this one? Let's see. No. Okay. So let me change this to Aussie. Okay. So Aussie dollar, I bought it here. Oops. I bought it here. Does anyone have an idea why? Why would I buy that? Raul, I'm not going to answer that for you. That's why we use technical analysis. Bias plus that support, right? Cool. Good. I'm glad, right? Doesn't even need an introduction or an explanation, right? Cool. Good trade, bad trade. What do you think? So the aggressive target currently is, we'll call it 79, 79 and a half. Not ready for 80. We got a lot of resistance here, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's it and we get up to 79 next week. I need this to weaken. Remember, Aussie's not even strong. I want you to think about this. We know the Australian dollar is not very strong. It's aight, right? But it's not even a good trade yet, guys. Okay? Because there's something like this going on. So don't get all, all fat and happy on this trade. There's a lot that can go wrong on this still. Okay? But wait until what happens now if Aussie actually gets strong? What happens now if dollar actually weakens? Dollar hasn't even really started to weaken yet. It's just begun. Okay? So all we have is this pissy little inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay? So the way you do that is there's a couple of ways. You can look at this, measure the distance, and then take that to depends on how I want to measure that. Which means there's probably going to be back. But anyway, so you go this distance here. And that gets us to about there. See, I hesitated because you could also measure it this way. But I think it ends up being about the same. So what this tells me is, yes, we have a pivot target there. But remember, pivots are just pivots. They don't think. So I'm more interested in this. And then you look at the inverse head and shoulders, and it's also telling you the same thing. So I would expect maybe hesitation up here, 78.5 or 78. And then next week, we're here, but we're still not quite ready for prime time. We're not quite ready to get through 80, but I bought it at 76.5. So again, I should make 350 pips on this. Okay, I should. I would think so. So I'm going to move my stop to -3. Good. Fine. Good. 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 Fine. Fine. Great. So those are the trades I'm on today. And 233 pips. Bring it on, Bubba. Bring it on. So, my name is Wayne McDonald. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Thank you for being here on a Wednesday. Thank you for being here on a sunny, beautiful morning. You inspire me to be great. I want to be a better man. You make me want to be a better man. Wait, that's Swing Blade. What's that other movie? Oh, it's Nicholson, isn't it? You make me want to be a better man. So anyways, I try hard. I want to try harder. Thank you for making this community so powerful. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for clicking the like button to show YouTube that you believe this is quality content. Thank you for visiting Trader's Way and opening up a demo account and saying that you appreciate these webinars in your life. Without further ado, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I'm obsessed with these webinars, so I will be here tomorrow because I've been here every day for almost 20 years now without fail. Cheers.